pleasure to speak to you. How are you?
Great. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm okay, no complaints. It's very, very warm in England at the moment, and obviously we don't deal with heat really, really well over here at all. But other than
No.
that, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm in Sarasota, Florida, so it's really, really hot all the time.
Yes, of course. Help. At least you're used to it, right? You know how to handle it.
Yeah.
How would you summarize your personal excitement for what is kind of happening right now in and around Guar?
Well, we've got a lot of it's our anniversary and
Mm,
we've been there's just a lot going on and
yeah.
we're happy with it and busy. We've got new well, it's an LP, but to us it's an EP. There's three new songs
Mm.
and then a live performance of some tunes, and so that's going really good. Um, and yeah, we're just we're having a good time, and we're stoked trying to celebrate the 40th, and we've got a big show that we're doing in the fall
Mm.
that brings back Gor Gor, the
Mm.
pet the dinosaur pet of GWAR that has always been there too. By the way, Gor Gor's as old as GWAR is. It was really one of the first characters we had, so it's very exciting.
I'm glad to hear you are so excited because, well, I mean, as you said yourself, there is so much going on. I mean, we're not just talking the EP, the Return of Gor Gor, but all the other stuff going around it too, from the comic, the video game, the plushy toys, the movie, the gallery open at the end of the year. There's so much going on. I have to ask,
Yeah.
how are you staying sane with all of this going on?
Well, all that, and then you know, a lot of a lot of us work too, so
Of course.
we're staying sane. We're just keeping busy, man. It's nice to be busy. That's probably what does keep us sane.
What does a chill out day look like for you personally? You know, you like to be busy, you're always busy, but those days when you need a day to yourself, what do they look like?
Um, and just to make sure, you're asking Bishop here, right, and not Blothar.
You can answer, how would you prefer to answer?
Well, that question seems like a Blothar one.
Yeah, let's do a Blowfire one then.
Wow. Of course, Blothar, when he relaxes, he likes to just go to Circus in Las Vegas and shoot craps, just blow a bunch of money and in, invade a buffet and make them regret the all-you-can-eat sign, and then just occupy the toilet for about 3 hours. But for myself,
Mm,
I have more pedestrian tastes. Uh, I like to fish, man. That's what I
yeah,
do. Yeah, I go fishing and do it just about every day.
really that often?
Yeah. It's,
What is
whenever
it?
I can.
What is it about fish? Is it just the away from things, the kind of just is it the fishing aspect as important as the just getting away from things outside of things?
I think, yeah. I mean, it's very meditative,
Mm,
and there's also a lot. I'm good at fishing, so there's a lot to know about it. There's a lot,
yeah.
and there's a lot to. So it's very fetishistic in a way, right? Like you've got uh, all the stuff that you buy and all the stuff you use, and then, but also you're in nature. You're out there, like uh, just relaxed and
Mm,
looking at creatures.
mm,
It's great, and looking at the world, looking at. I mean, and Sarasota is very beautiful. And there's a lot of salt water,
yeah.
and that's what I do. I go out and uh, either fish in a boat or wade fish and have a lot of fun.
Well, it's fantastic. Everybody needs something, needs some way to escape, the hectic world that exists around us, and particularly, as you said yourself, so much going on with GWAR. And when you're in these periods, these release periods, there's so much to do, and you've been obviously this is not your first rodeo. What what part of the build to a release, this particular one, what part of the build has been more enjoyable this time around than perhaps any other? Is there any one thing?
Well, I think having Gor Gor back, and
Hmm.
Gwar is not Gor's an unusual band. It's a band that has um, a group of artists or
Hmm.
visual artists that are members of the band, um, and uh, are treated, with the kind of equality that we Gwar's very very communal sort of thing, and it
Yeah.
is really a cooperative of artists and musicians, and so having knowing I just enjoy whenever we have to do a big show and there's
Yeah.
new stuff coming out, there's new costumes, the newness of it. I love the Blöthar stuff right now.
Hmm.
The new outfit looks great, and Margaret Rolicki, who's one of the artists, she did a great job with Blöthar, and and it's just fun. I also enjoy uh, performing. I mean, that's one of the things about GWAR is that you get to do a lot of stage performance, a lot of
Mm.
improvisation, um, a lot of I mean, it's really theater as well as music, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do.
Well, anybody who's ever seen you live, and there's no excuse, you performed all over the world for so many times, and can attest to how much of a theatrical show it is, how important the show is, as much as the music. Puts
Yeah,
two together, and it's spectacular.
yeah, and I mean, and we try really hard to tell stories. I mean,
Mm.
and it's fun to write the stories, and it's fun to watch people react. I think probably one of the best things is watching people react to GWAR, like watching,
Yeah.
especially people that haven't seen the band before.
You look out and you see a face, and you're like that, and you know immediately this is their first time experiencing Gua.
Yeah, definitely. And usually people are laughing, and I think that's one thing that GWAR is. One way GWAR is different than a lot of metal and a lot of metal acts, even acts that do have some kind of a stage element in their shows. We're trying to make people laugh and to have fun.
Well, there's an argument to say there's theatrics and a show. More and more bands these days are doing that, but none quite like Gua. You have a different level of fun at a Gua show than you do it with anybody else.
I think.
Speaking of Gorgor, why is he returned now?
Well, really it's because of the 40th anniversary, right? And it's
Mm,
if you look at GWAR, if you look at the earliest photograph of the
yeah.
band, right, like where we did a group picture, Gorgor's there.
Mm,
Uh, and at the time, it was just a guy dressed in, um, a paper mache costume with like covered in like sort of uh, camouflage cloth.
mm.
And but still, I mean, and standing on 5-gallon buckets. Uh, but still, I mean, that was uh, the best we could do at the time, and Gorgor was always a part of it. It was always just a character. Like I said, it was the first character that wasn't in the band really, besides Techno Destructo. It was that we added to the set, and
Mm.
so Gorgor's it coming back for the anniversary just makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, in our narrative, Gorgor, we discovered Gorgor because we're uh, there's a train wrecks into, and that was just like I noticed that Godzilla, which Gorgor's modeled after, he's always attacking trains for some reason. It seems
Hmm, that is true.
yeah, right. So we worked in Gorgor like and a train, and of course we had to make it a circus train.
Of
Uh,
course.
and it just there's just lots of cool storytelling opportunities.
It's I guess it's almost like a blank slate, right? You could there was no rules, there was nothing really defined beforehand, so you could
No,
pretty much tell any story you wanted, right?
yeah, yeah, you can, and and that I mean, and that's the joy of GWAR is that you can do that.
But was like the vision clear from the start, talking specifically about this EP, particularly the three tracks. Like you know you're bringing Gorgo back, you're doing it for the anniversary, and you have a blank slate. But that also could be like too much almost, like when you don't have anything to define it.
Yeah, I mean, the GWAR is always going to work within limits, and
Yeah.
that's actually why GWAR is I think why the band is successful, right? Is that, or at least creatively successful, is that
Mm.
we don't have there's not a huge budget that we're dealing with. It's
Mm.
not, it's always got to be what you can make within, what you can afford within the time that you've got, and also
Yep.
within the frame of a live rock show. So those are very specific limits, right?
Mm.
But in particular, GWAR does not fit in the frame of rock music, right? So just even what we do really pushes the limits of that. Um, and there's a bunch of examples of that. I mean,
Mm.
we usually have to repurpose any space that we're at,
Of
um,
course.
and make turn things into side stage and dressing rooms that aren't dressing rooms, and we don't fit, man. We've got a huge show to do, uh, and put on, and it's just a spectacle. It's a
Yeah.
great, and
Think
yeah. So
I think last time I saw you live, it was a challenge to get you all on bloody the stage, because sometimes that's just a limitation as well, a stage length
oh
or
yeah,
size.
right, definitely, yeah. All of it. I mean, even the height of the stage
Yeah.
is often a problem. Um, so we just make it happen. I mean, we we did one show in England,
Mm.
I think in Leeds. It was at this place where you had to go down these stairs. I can't remember, but we couldn't wear parts of the costumes, like anything that made us tall. We had to
Yeah.
just take off because it was a very low ceiling. It's really
Oh
funny.
God. Was that the? I wonder if you remember. Was that the Key Club?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. Oh my God, I can picture it. Oh, what hard work that must have been.
Yeah, it was awful.
Sticking with the EP, from your perspective specifically, creating the three new tracks, working on them, this new music, and telling the story of Gorgor. Was there anything that was particularly challenging for you, from a creative standpoint?
Well, uh, lyrics are always difficult,
Mm.
no matter what. And you you have to. I think on this one, an example would be Lot Lizard,
Oh yeah.
uh, where you know, I mean, because the other songs we were sort of just telling this story. Um, Lot Lizard was challenging because we wanted to have Gorgor out in the world,
Hmm.
and sort of finding out that he strikes out on his own, and we wanted to create some empathy for this character, um, and the idea of a lot lizard, which is just a sort of truck stop prostitute.
Yep.
So he's out there making money, but you don't want to write lyrics that I mean, as research for that, I read a lot of stuff about truck stop prostitution.
Hmm.
And, what I discovered was that oftentimes the people that are involved in that, whether they're uh, men or women, that they're uh, forced into it. It's like a sort of
Hmm.
human trafficking situation. Um, so there's this vulnerable population. Like you don't want to write a song that says, makes fun of these people or degrades them in some way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they've got enough to worry about. Uh,
Hmm.
so writing and then I also read a bit about like how they were frustrated by these Christian groups that would come in and uh, oftentimes like they felt very judged,
Yeah.
and the people wouldn't offer help. Like the help they were offering was spiritual, and it's really not what these women, or in this case it was women that they were talking about. Like that's not what they needed. They needed real assistance. They needed
Hmm.
rescue, man. Like on earth, not when they fucking die. So
Yeah.
um just hearing that and hearing them talk about like feeling judged and feeling
Hmm.
uh uh just trying to get through. I wanted to sort of put some of that human element. That's what GWAR does, right? That's what
Yeah.
art. So you listen to the lyrics of the song, and it's just sort of a proclamation of identity that's very unapologetic, and and at the same time tells this narrative of our dinosaur friend who's out there. Uh, and there's an aspect of vengeance to it, right? I mean, if like
Hmm.
your job is giving blowjobs and you're a Tyrannosaurus Rex, uh, like chances
It's
are there's
insane.
not going to be a lot of repeat customers, right?
To say the least.
Yeah. So that's kind of the work of GWAR, but it's also the fun of GWAR.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, what? Yeah, that. I mean, because obviously you want to express yourself and in such a way, but you've also got to take into account. I don't know, is it like fan expectation of GWAR? And while obviously those who've been following for a while will know there's so much more to it than the sort of surface level fun aspect. Do you feel like you have to almost like deliver to another section of the fan base that just wants the wild and wackiness?
Yeah, I mean, sure, that's what that's what GWAR. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you're dealing with. That's
Hmm.
the medium really is this kind of silliness and the wackiness and we're trying to bring that back.
Hmm.
It's funny because fans, they have this expectation that when you come out, a lot of times they forget. The band went through a lot of tragedy, and
Hmm.
really, on the last two records, I mean, we were funny, but we you didn't have it. We didn't have the humor in our soul. Like
Hmm.
you can't give away something you don't have. I mean, uh, so we were trying to survive. And
Hmm.
now I think that we're a little more stable and
Hmm.
we know what's going on. Then we can be funny again.
Hmm.
We can work that uh, aspect back into things. But really, I mean, the Blood of Gods, the record right after our singer died,
Of
that was
course.
about survival of the band and figuring out whether or not we even needed to be doing this. And the next
Hmm.
record was a little freer, and then this one, I think we've hit our stride. And you know, when we do a full length album this coming year, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, as you said, times have changed. I mean, looking at the New Dark Ages, for example, I mean, that came out just after, well, COVID had just really hit, and there was so
Yeah,
much going on. Yeah,
yeah,
you're still standing, and that's such an important thing.
yeah.
Speaking of fun, though, I mean, go back to Lot Lizard. Well, just sum up the video. I mean, what an experience that was. Like, how much? I know it would have been an incredible amount of work as well, right?
yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was uh, a lot of fun to make it, and Tommy was had a crew. Tommy Meehan, some friends of his from LA that came out and helped us do that. It was awesome. I mean, it was just those guys are so good at film, and they and at comedy. And
Yeah.
it turns out that the fellow that made that video, he's also one of the guys that was responsible for just some very funny stuff, very funny young comedians coming out
Yeah.
of Los Angeles that have made a lot of good content on YouTube, and
Mm.
pretty much created the yacht rock genre, right? Like
Okay.
yeah, they just by making these yacht rock videos, and they're fun guys, and they have a lot of good ideas. But yeah, I mean, the summarizing the video, it was the probably the hardest part was hanging around in a truck stop all day, and then also that hotel that we shot the ending scene.
Yeah.
That was grim. That hotel was awful.
Really?
Um, oh God, it was just filthy. I felt like I had to take a shower just from sitting on the bed.
Oh.
It was gross, but yeah, I mean, it's always fun to do the effects, and there's blood spraying everywhere and all kinds of
Mm.
stuff. So it was neat.
How speaking of other videos as well, the Great Circus Train Disaster, of course, it's an animated one. How amazed were you about how that turned out?
Oh, it was great. I mean, the Makita or Macanita is his name.
Mm.
Silva Macanita is the animator, and he's really got a lot of juice. He's got a lot of there's a lot in these videos that he puts in. My favorite part of that video is, the the song is very narrative, right? So he's
Mm.
just sort of, as an animator, he's just telling the story until you get to a certain point, and then when the story is kind of told, and it's more like there's less sort of a lyrical narrative going on. That's to me when it gets interesting, when he starts throwing in his ideas and interpretation of events, and I just think he's a super talented animator and storyteller. So that's very cool. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting song because
Yeah.
we went to a museum that was about vampires,
Okay.
and yeah, and at the museum they had uh, a Ouija board, and it was all burned up, and the Ouija board supposedly had been in two different circus train accidents. Um, yeah, but the and had survived it, but the last one was I just read the story, and it was so it never occurred to me that, oh, okay,
Hmm.
well, circuses would travel in these old wooden trains that were really not suited for usually they would buy them used or just assemble them, and they weren't in great shape, and
Yeah.
they were wooden, right? And of course, like all the this story was that there's this wooden train riding down the road, and it gets hit by this World War I troop train that was metal and much faster, and kind of just exploded it. And just reading about the idea of a circus train disaster, a circus train wreck,
Yeah.
is fascinating, and it conjures up all these different images. So that was fun too, like just reading about like circus train wrecks, and what would happen, and because the animals get loose.
Of course.
There was this woman that was she was hanging her laundry. She's somewhere in Ohio, right? Like just
Uh,
and she's just lives near the railroad tracks, and she's out there hanging laundry, and suddenly a tiger comes bounding.
you wouldn't believe your eyes, man.
No, it's just like, what? where is, you know, and winds up chasing her up a tree. It's just insane. And we just built on that imagery and uh, tried to sort of wed it to the idea of Dumbo, right? Like
Mm.
the tragedy of uh, Gorgor's mother getting killed by the train, and it's just it's fun, man. GWAR is fun. It's a fun band where you can tell good stories, and it's my favorite thing.
It is. It's why you're still here. 40 years, what an immense milestone. And continue to like enjoy such an incredible support around the entire world. A dedicated fan base who loves you as much as you love them. Um, if you were to think about it, I guess, and I'd ask you, from your perspective, what is it about GWAR that do you think means you why people continue to love you in such droves?
Well, I think that GWAR is for outsiders, and I
Yeah.
think that it is for people that and that's because we are outsiders, right? Like,
Mm.
so GWAR is um, it's kind of like the difference in Iggy Pop and, and Led Zeppelin, right? Like,
Mm.
Iggy's goofy, he's going out, he's coming off the stage. Led Zeppelin, there's this great gulf between them and the crowd, right? Like, so
Yeah.
that was, and GWAR's, we do everything we can in the tradition of Iggy Pop to
Mm.
break that barrier down between us and the crowd. Um, and to the point of literally working them in the story, they all get sprayed, and GWAR comes off of the stage at them, and also sort of brings them up
Yeah.
onto the stage as part of the narrative of what's happening. So that is, I think, one of the reasons that the band has had such an impact on people. Um, I'm hoping that I've kind of lost track of the question, but that's uh,
You've
what I
nailed
think
it.
of when I think of GWAR's uh, longevity. And I know, and also like who GWAR addresses. Like
Mm.
we GWAR is a band that is very into fan culture, and I'm talking about the members of the band, right? That
Yeah.
are into comic books and into horror movies and
Yeah.
into science fiction and all these things that have traditionally been viewed as uh, lowbrow in some way. And GWAR valorizes that lowness, celebrates it without any reservation, and these are always the best stories. I mean,
Mm.
um, or the best, and it's always from the bottom, from mass culture, that meaning is made, right?
Yeah.
So we're part of it.
For the outsiders, because you are outsiders.
Yeah,
I think you absolutely nailed that. I can't wait to see the response to the Return of Gor Gor. But mind you, 2 out of 3 of the singles are already out there as well, and people are absolutely loving it. Thank you. We're out of time, so thank you so much for giving
no
me
problem.
your time.
Hey, man, thank you.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.